We've all heard the phrase, money can't buy happiness. It's the kind of wisdom people like to toss around as if it were a universal truth, something noble, detached from material concerns. But in the reality of modern womanhood, especially in a world that often demands women to be everything all at once, strong, beautiful, successful, selfless, does the saying still hold its weight? Picture this. A woman sits quietly in the backseat of a luxury car, mascara slightly smudged from tears. She's holding a designer handbag that costs more than someone else's monthly salary. The image goes viral with a sarcastic caption, "Crying in a Mercedes greater than crying on a bicycle." It's funny, it's sad, it's complicated. And it makes us wonder, can money truly not buy happiness? Or does it, at the very least, buy access to the things that build it? Because here's the truth no one likes to admit. For many women, money does change things. It buys freedom, the freedom to leave an unhappy marriage, to walk away from a job that kills your spirit, to say no to things that don't serve you without the fear of financial ruin. It buys safety, better healthcare, safer neighborhoods, support systems like therapy or childcare. It buys dignity, being able to afford choices, to live with self-respect, to show up in the world on your own terms. No, money may not fill the emotional voids or solve every internal struggle. It can't mend a broken heart or replace meaningful relationships. But for many women, especially those who have known the weight of financial dependence or scarcity, money isn't about luxury. It's about survival, about self-worth, about being able to say yes to yourself. 1. Money and happiness, a realistic perspective. There's a truth we often shy away from, especially in a world that romanticizes struggle. Money isn't happiness, but for many women, it's a necessary condition to access happiness. The idea that money can't buy happiness is a comforting phrase often repeated in songs, books, and social media captions. It's meant to remind us that love, connection, and purpose are more important than material things. But while that may be true in theory, the reality, especially for women navigating modern life, is far more complex. Let's take a practical look at what money can actually buy. Safety and freedom of choice. Money provides the ability to make decisions without fear. It means having a safe place to live. It means being able to walk away from a toxic job, not because you're impulsive, but because you're no longer trapped by financial desperation. It means having the freedom to leave an abusive relationship, knowing you can afford rent, food, and childcare on your own. That's not luxury, that's survival. The power to care for yourself and others. For many women, especially mothers, financial stability translates directly into care. Regular health checkups, therapy sessions, fitness classes, nutritious food, quality education for children, these are not indulgences. They're acts of love. Sometimes, happiness is as simple as being able to afford a warm meal on a bad day or surprising your child with a birthday gift they'll never forget. The ability to grow, learn, and become who you really are. Money can't buy dreams, but it can buy time and resources to pursue them. Whether it's taking an online course, starting a side business, or simply having the breathing room to rest and reflect, financial security creates space for personal growth. It allows you to stop surviving and start living. And when women live in alignment with their values and potential, happiness becomes more than a fleeting feeling. It becomes a way of life. Think about the difference between two single mothers. One has access to stable income, childcare support, and her own savings. The other is completely dependent on someone else's goodwill. Who is more likely to feel confident, calm, and in control of her life? It's not a matter of being materialistic, it's about dignity and agency. Of course, money alone won't fix everything. It won't heal emotional wounds or guarantee fulfilling relationships. But it does make life less chaotic, more manageable, and more filled with possibility. So instead of repeating that money can't buy happiness, perhaps it's time we say, money may not be the source of happiness, but for many women, it builds the foundation where happiness has the chance to grow. 2. When money can't buy happiness. Let's be clear. Money isn't a guaranteed first-class ticket to happiness, especially when it's misunderstood or misused. There is a critical difference between using money to support a fulfilling life and becoming consumed by it. The moment money shifts from being a tool to being the goal, it begins to lose its value. When your day-to-day existence revolves solely around earning more, buying more, hoarding more without intention, joy or purpose, it becomes a cycle of emotional emptiness dressed up as success. You chase titles, hustle for raises, and fill your closet with clothes you barely wear, hoping that the next promotion, the next handbag, or the next gadget will finally be enough. That it will finally make you feel worthy, seen, or safe. But it rarely does. Because that kind of fulfillment is always one step away. It's never here, never now. And even when you reach a point where money is no longer the problem, where the bills are paid and your needs are met, there's another trap waiting. Having money but no time, no presence, no peace. You can afford a 5-star resort, but if your body is on vacation while your mind is trapped in your inbox, can you really say you're living? When your calendar is full, but your heart feels empty, no amount of wealth can compensate. Then there's the subtle, insidious pressure of comparison, a force that social media has turned into a daily ritual. We no longer just buy things. We compare lifestyles. Every scroll introduces you to someone else's edited highlight reel. They're lounging in Santorini, getting a new car, wearing the latest designer release. It doesn't matter how comfortable your life actually is suddenly, it feels smaller, duller, less enough. This is the age of emotional consumerism where purchases aren't made for utility or joy, but for validation, for the illusion of belonging. You no longer spend to support your needs or passions. You spend to soothe your fears. You spend to match an image, to avoid feeling left behind, to prove sometimes to yourself that you're doing okay. But ironically, the more money you have in this state, the more disconnected you may become. Because you're not building a life, you're performing one. This performative cycle is exhausting. It pushes you to live for others' approval, not your own values. The joy of financial freedom becomes overshadowed by the fear of falling behind. You start running a race without a finish line, chasing standards you didn't choose, and eventually you forget what truly matters to you. In this context, money becomes a burden instead of a blessing. It feeds your anxiety instead of easing it. It fills your home but drains your soul. It can make you appear successful while quietly deepening your sense of isolation or disconnection. So, when does money fail to bring happiness? When it's used to cover up pain instead of heal it. When it fuels status instead of substance. When it drives disconnection instead of belonging. When it feeds insecurity instead of self-worth. Yes, money can open doors. It can give you choices. It can give you access to care, to education, to experiences that nourish you. But it can't buy you the things that make life feel whole: meaning, connection, time, and peace of mind. Those aren't for sale. They have to be cultivated with intention, reflection, and emotional courage. True happiness may be supported by money, but it's not built by it. It's built on how you show up for your life, on how you love and allow yourself to be loved, on how you spend your time, not just your income, on how honestly you live, and how aligned you are with who you really want to be. So instead of asking whether money can buy happiness, maybe we need to ask, is your relationship with money helping you live more fully, or is it quietly stealing your joy? Because in the end, money is not the villain, nor is it the hero. It's simply a tool, powerful, yes, but neutral. It reflects who we are and what we value. When guided by fear, it can lead us far from ourselves. But when handled with clarity and purpose, it can help build a life that feels honest, grounded, and deeply fulfilling. 3. Society and the double standard. What's wrong with women loving money? In many Asian cultures, including Vietnam, there still exists a quiet but persistent double standard when it comes to money and gender. A man who openly loves money is often seen as ambitious, strategic, and focused. He's admired for providing, for thinking ahead, for his drive to build a future. But when a woman expresses a similar relationship with money, she's far more likely to be judged, branded as materialistic, shallow, self-serving, or worse, a gold digger. Why is that? Why is the pursuit of wealth noble when it's male, but suspect when it's female? Why is financial ambition in a woman still something society feels entitled to question, mock, or shame? Let's make something very clear. Loving money is not a moral failing. What matters is why and how you love it. If a woman values money because it allows her to take care of herself, protect her family, live with dignity, or create a future on her own terms, then what exactly is the problem? The discomfort, it seems, doesn't lie in the money itself. It lies in the power that money represents. Because a financially independent woman doesn't need permission, protection, or approval. And for a society built on the idea that a woman's worth is tied to how well she depends, obeys, or sacrifices, that's a little threatening. But let's face it, modern women are not just spending money, they're creating it. They're managing budgets, growing side hustles, launching businesses, investing in stocks, buying land, taking financial literacy courses, and supporting not only themselves but entire families. From a college student who chooses to learn about compound interest rather than just save blindly, to a mother who buys an online psychology course so she can raise emotionally intelligent children. These are not signs of selfishness. They are acts of intention, self-respect, and long-term vision. And yet, stereotypes linger. The idea that women are too emotional for financial decisions, too frivolous with their spending, or too naive to build wealth is not just outdated, it's damaging. It subtly teaches generations of girls that finance is not their domain, that they should let others men make the big money moves, that seeking financial independence is somehow unfeminine or worse, selfish. But today, those old narratives are being dismantled. Across the world, women are rewriting the rules. They're not waiting for permission or validation. They're taking ownership of their futures, buying homes solo, setting up emergency funds, taking maternity leave without fear of going broke, and even choosing to walk away from toxic jobs or relationships because they have the financial safety net to do so. This isn't about rejecting love, family, or partnership. It's about having options, and options come from freedom, not dependency. A study by Forbes Women found that women with solid financial foundations report 1.6 times higher life satisfaction than those who rely financially on others. That's not just a statistic. It's a reflection of emotional stability, peace of mind, and empowerment. Because when money is managed with clarity, it becomes more than a currency. It becomes confidence. It becomes a boundary. It becomes a quiet, powerful way of saying, I can take care of myself, ... So instead of asking why a woman loves money, maybe we should ask, why shouldn't she? Why shouldn't she love something that gives her the ability to protect her children, to care for aging parents without guilt or shame? To leave a harmful environment instead of staying out of fear? To choose work that aligns with her values rather than chase a paycheck out of desperation? A woman who values money for what it allows her to do, not just what it allows her to buy, is a woman who understands the true power of financial freedom. And here's the truth. She's not materialistic. She's not shallow. She's not a gold digger. She's prepared. She's empowered. She's owning her narrative rather than being written into someone else's. The world is changing. Women are no longer content with being seen as passive recipients of wealth. They're becoming active architects of it. They are educating themselves, building networks, having honest conversations about salary, investments, debt, and growth. They are teaching the next generation that financial literacy is not optional, it's essential. So let's stop penalizing women for being financially aware. Let's stop attaching shame to a woman's desire for comfort, security, or prosperity. Let's encourage her to want more, not out of greed, but out of self-worth. Because a woman who understands money is a woman who understands herself. She's not building a life to impress. She's building a life to belong to. And that is something no one should apologize for. 4. Conclusion. Money doesn't buy happiness. But without it, happiness can be hard to reach. It's true money can't buy love. It can't make someone genuinely care for you. And it certainly can't erase loneliness or fill the emotional gaps in your heart. You can't purchase meaning, trust, or inner peace at any store. And yet, the absence of money often becomes the very thing that blocks the path to happiness. Without money, many women are forced to stay in jobs that exhaust them, relationships that break them, or environments that limit them. Without money, choices shrink. Dreams feel too far away. And even basic needs like rest, health, or safety become luxuries. So maybe the real question isn't, can money buy happiness? Maybe the better question is, are you using money in a way that allows you to live a life that's true to who you are? Because when money is used consciously not as a measure of worth, but as a tool, it becomes something powerful. It becomes the key that opens doors, the door to healing, to freedom, to growth. It allows you to say no to what hurts and yes to what heals. It allows you to walk away from what doesn't serve you and walk toward what makes you come alive. Many people assume that wanting more money means you're greedy or superficial. But for modern women, the desire for financial stability is often rooted in something deeper. The need for agency, security, and dignity. As one simple truth puts it, money doesn't define who you are, but it helps you choose the kind of life you want to live. A financially empowered woman isn't someone who lives just to chase income. She's someone who lets her money serve her values. She knows how to earn, save, and spend in ways that reflect what matters most. She invests in herself, in her healing, in her education, in her children. She doesn't worship money, she uses it with clarity and care to build a life of purpose and joy. To live fully in today's world, especially as a woman, is to understand money, not fear it, not be shamed by it, and not let others control it for you, ... So take that course, build that emergency fund, say yes to therapy, coaching, a new career path, or a well-deserved vacation. Not because money alone makes you happy, but because the stability it brings creates space for joy to grow. In the end, happiness may be free, but having the power to protect, pursue, and preserve it often comes at a cost. And that's okay, because real happiness isn't about living in luxury. It's about living with choice. And money, when handled wisely, is what makes choice possible. Let me know if you'd like all 4 parts compiled into one full article. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.